not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
We back. What's going on? Week 4. Well, we're at the end of week 4, man. With only a few games left, it's really getting tight, and with the new RPR points, I think every point, every game, and there's definitely a strategy that comes along to it. Oh, the shout out to everybody, man. What's going on, man? Shout out to Coach Paiva. We're gonna talk to him in a few minutes, man. But Rhode Island high school football is definitely. Um, I was looking up earlier, and it's kind of strange because in Division One, from 2 to 5, it's 0.47 that separates these teams. The light is really bright, but we're gonna bring on Coach Piva, man. In just a second, man. Coach Piva, North Smithfield, did their job this week against Smithfield. Someone said, because I'm a big advocate of North Smithfield. Love the program, love what they do over there, love what Coach Piva does. His that they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and they work with what they have. But so I was a big advocate. So someone said, "Well, talk to me when they play Smithfield." Well, they did play Smithfield, and they beat Smithfield 21-6. So congratulations to Coach Piper. Looking pretty good. Togate 36-6. Davies beating Situate 18-0. Mount Hope beating Charahoe 21-8. Them were Thursday's games. Because it starts with Thursday football. And what's Thursday football without Coach Piva? What's up, Coach?
How we doing? How's everybody doing?
A little rainy today, but it's always a good day to talk football, right?
Always a good day. Dreary Sunday makes it a little easier.
Absolutely, man. Your team's on a good run this season. You had a hell of a climb to get here. Talk a little bit about how you got to this point this season.
Yeah, I mean we're playing good football. We're working hard every day. The kids. We've had this group of. We have 6 seniors. 4 of them are 4-year players. All like 4 of those kids have been playing since their freshman year. Like on the varsity level, they've been playing. So, they've taken their share of lumps, and we have some juniors that have been playing since they were freshmen too. Like when we say we were young, we were really young the previous couple of years. And, now we've got seniors and experienced juniors in a lot of key spots, and that always helps. They know how to practice. They know when it's time to focus up and put the work in. Our practices have been really efficient. To me, that's been the biggest difference in this year's team to previous years. These kids know how to practice. Like nice short windows, and we get the work done. We get them in, we get them out, and they're playing really well. I'm proud of them.
Let's talk a little bit about your quarterback, Ben Black. Real special quarterback, special class. But talk a little bit about what Ben Black means to this program.
Ben has been truly awesome to coach. I'm going to be super sad when I don't get to do it anymore. I was actually just texting with him earlier today. He's already into the game film and starting his prep for next week. But Ben is special. Ben is ultra competitive. He's learning how to be a leader more and more every day. We've been asking him. He's been our leader for 2 or 3 years now. but he's starting to understand the finer points of leadership and friendship for that matter. But he truly understands what we're trying to do, and I've been blessed with some good quarterbacks. You know, they have the ability to finish my sentences and my thoughts. I'll screw the play call up. They fix it by the time they get to the huddle, and you know, they really, really have been good over the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 years since I've been coaching the quarterbacks here. And you know, Ben's just the next guy that's done extremely well. I'm super proud of him. But you know, Ben and I's conversation tends to be more personal about leadership. The football stuff he takes care of. He knows what he's doing, and yes, I coach him, but I'm proud of the steps he's making as a young adult.
I mean, for a small team, I mean, you always show a lot of love to your players, and you definitely wear it on your sleeve. But you got some really good seniors. Ethan this season, you know, Ben Black, of course, Andrew Stock, um,
Yep.
Devin Botaka. I don't want to, you know, screw up anyone's name, you know, but you got so many great seniors who contributed to this great class. And Owen O'Reilly. I'm just trying to go down the list and make sure I don't miss anybody. Ben Tessia.
Yep.
Let's see.
I think that's all six of them.
Yeah, man. Shout out to this year's class, man. But when these guys go out into the world, what do you want to have them take with them?
I want them to learn and take with them some of the stuff they've seen leadership wise. I want them to go out and I want them to challenge themselves. I want them to go out and be unafraid to fail. God knows over the last few years, we've done a lot of failing. But that's part of the process. It's how you learn. And then you have seasons like this where you take all those failures and you start to overcome some of those things. And I'm hoping by these guys being around, I've got such an incredible coaching staff. I really, really do. And they're more than just coaches. They're really, really good guys. They're great men. And I hope that these kids take something from us on how to be that, right? It's go on and be great career men and fathers and husbands and all that stuff too. And hopefully they've learned that from all of us.
Tell us about your staff. You know,
I'd love to. Um, my staff, it starts with Coach Colin Carafell. He's our defensive coordinator. He's been with me the longest. We started coaching together at the express level. We've known each other for a long time. We came on the high school coaching staff together. Um, I've always said I feel he's probably the best coach that I've ever worked with. You know, he's just amazing in the way he is able to communicate and teach the game of football. It's really, really nice. And then I've got Coach Eddie Insko, who coaches the offensive and defensive lines, who has been phenomenal for us. He brings an incredible amount of energy to practice, to the games. The kids love him, and he's finally got a group of linemen that have been consistent. I think since he's come on, he's had to deal with injuries and kids not coming out to play and kids quitting and for whatever reason not wanting to play, to about 8 kids that play offensive and defensive line for us this year that are there every single night. And I think they'd all run through the wall for him, and he'd jump in front of a bus for all of them. So Coach Insko's been amazing for us. We have Coach Rob Storm, who coaches our linebackers and running backs, coaches some of the special teams. He's been on the staff for a few years. Another great guy. He's been in the schools as a sub, and he does a lot of stuff, not just on the field, but kind of behind the scenes. Need him a lot. And then we've got a couple of new guys to the staff this year, and Scott Kerrigan came up from the Express. His kids kind of both went through. We had Zach as a former player, so his his youngest is a sophomore now, so he coaches our wide receivers and our defensive backs. Then we have Brian Boulay, who came on staff this year, whose son Brady is our kicker and one of our receivers, and also a defensive back. And he's helping Coach Insco do a great job with the offensive and defensive lines. And we have Zach Kerrigan, who jumped on, former player for us, played in college a little bit, and he's been around helping coach our wide receivers this year, and has really brought something to that group, just in terms of being able to relate and say, this is what it takes to even play at the next level. And he helps out quite a bit with the kids' scout films and stuff like that. He's been a really big part of this coaching staff, even though he's the youngest guy out there.
I mean, how important is game film in preparation?
It's huge. We as our coaching staff, we don't stop. Like I tell our kids, 95% of the time when we play a game, you guys have the answers to the test before you take it. It's just a matter of using the stuff that we've shown you all week. So we use film quite a bit. One of our practices every week is dedicated to it. We watch our own stuff, and then we watch the other team's stuff, and we prepare our practices, and we go all week, just like every other team in the state does. It's like taking the test with the answers. If you're not doing your due diligence with it, you're doing yourself a disadvantage.
If you got a few minutes, we're gonna check out some scores, but I
Sure.
want to take a quick video. Let me find it. So yeah, week 4. Before we're also gonna talk about some of the RPI points that it's getting really really close with only a couple games left.
Yep.
Give me a minute.
Are you dreaming of the perfect home? Your dream home doesn't have to be just a dream. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kathy Foisey from HomeSmart Professionals Real Estate is here to make it a reality. Expertise in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, Kathy is ready to guide you every step of the way. Reach out today at 401-486-6587 or email kfoisey1@gmail.com.
All right, man. We're gonna look at some of the RPI points going on, and it's getting close, man. It's getting close, especially over in Division 1. Let me put this up on the screen. 1 second. Some people, I talk to some people and they just don't like the RPI point system. I'm starting to like it because I've been following it very, very close, and I think it's pretty interesting. Do you like it the old way or?
No, I like it because it allows teams, and we were one of them, that are in a really tough spot, and you're in a really bind in terms of division. It gives us an opportunity to schedule some favorable things. And listen, most of us know what we have going in, and we can adjust the schedule to tailor that for us. I mean, being in Division 4, the RPI doesn't affect Division 4 as it does the other teams in the state. So I might have a different view on things than most. I'm still under the opinion of, in Division 4, if you go out and win the games in your division, you're going to be just fine.
Well, right now, I said early on in the season that LaSalle was going to run away with the number 1 seed, and it looks like they are because they're sitting with an 8.771, RPI with St. Ray's left, Bonstaville High School, and Cranston West with 3 games remaining.
Yep.
The next closest team is St. Ray's with a 6.0 6.6, and I don't even think they're close enough to catch LaSalle. But what's interesting here, coach, is number 2 to number 5. St. Ray's have a 6.630.
Yep.
North Kingstown 65.87. Portsmouth a 61.87. And Hendricken a 61.60. Between them 4 spots, it's a 0.47. That's how close it is between 4 positions, depending on where the seeding is going to be in the top 6 teams
Yep.
in Division 1.
Yep. And it's at this point in the season, it's going to be hard to move the needle that much. But 0.47 or whatever it was that you said, that's still doable. So teams could end up somewhere between 2 and 5. All 4 of those teams, could shuffle the
Oh,
deck.
wait a minute. 0.4, 0.047. 0.047.
Yeah, but
So
no,
it's a
between
fraction.
St. Ray's and Hendricken, it's 0.47. Yep, 0.47.
Yep.
And so that could shuffle, right? Hendricken could climb to 2, St. Ray's could drop to 5, Portsmouth could get up there to 2, North Kingstown could get up to 2. Like anything can happen between those guys.
I think somebody who is sitting in the doghouse right now is Mike Washington as Central, sitting at 7 at 1-5, taking a tough loss to a Division II Westerly Bulldogs who look very, very good right now.
Yeah, yep. That's tough to move. So he's got to get almost a full point to catch Cranston West. Now, Cranston West has Barrington, Central, and LaSalle. So
Yeah, Barrington, Central, and LaSalle.
so they've got all
left.
Division I teams left. They're gonna it's gonna be hard for Central to get up there. The only way that I see it happening is if they can jump up and win out. They've got to win out to get up to 6.
And with Central having Bishop Hendricken, Cranston West, and Barville, I think Cranston West could be doable. Cranston West, I don't think is a top 6 team. I think they'll be in the bottom bracket. The remaining 7, 8, 9, and 10 who will compete for the Division 1 championship. There'll be the top 6 who compete for the state championship, and the bottom 4 will compete for the Division 1 championship.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Cranston West will be in the top 6.
Hey, Coach, you got a shout out here. Let me put it up on the screen. It
That's our
says,
team
"Hey,
mom.
Coach." Oh, there you go. Shout out. But yeah,
She's the
it's
best.
looking very good in Division 1. It's anybody's race right now, and Barville sitting down there in 10. The good thing, everybody makes the playoffs in Division 1. Who knows?
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
tell you what, though. I hope when teams get to North Kingstown, they're gonna. I hope that they protest the exemption from the rule, because I think it's kind of BS. The league folded. It's only North Kingstown that they're exempt from the rule that you have to sit with your homestand.
Yeah,
If
that's a weird little situation down there. I'm glad that has nothing to do with me.
No, right, and I just it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, it all counts, right? So let's
Yep.
go check out Division 2, because Division 2 is pretty Division 2 is getting pretty close as well. I see some
There's a lot of good football in Division 2.
absolutely. Absolutely. But Westerly High School is sitting in first, and they've been between first, second, third all season long. And I say it's because that first game of the season, going up to Situate, Mass, getting them opponent win percentage, and I've been telling people that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their schedule and who they played Division One Central. Looks like they've played
They played East Providence,
the
one
Mass team,
socket, and
and they played Portsmouth. Those are three schools above, so they're getting extra points, and you can see it in the RPI differential right now. They've got almost they have point 0.7. They almost have a full point ahead of number 2 East Providence.
and
So
I'll tell you what, shout out to East Providence in number 2.
yeah, they've been working all year, and they're 4-1. That's pretty good.
I mean, East Providence, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a long time since they had a winning a winning season, and they have all the tools over there. It seems for a championship program.
Yep. I mean, that's just percentage points. That's really close. I think South Kingstown is really really good as well.
Absolutely, and I thought South Kingstown this year. I thought they were going to graduate a lot of players, and they were going to drop down a little bit, but they're still out there grinding it out.
Yep.
Sitting at number 3. And then, someone that's surprising everybody is Pawtucket Co-op. They're just picking up the wins where they need them.
Yeah. Yep. They're beating the teams that they're better than, and more physical than, and they're finding ways to put together a good little season. I'm excited for those kids. I have some kids on that Pawtucket Co-op team in my phys ed classes. Um, so we talk their Pawtucket football all the time. It's kind of fun.
I'll tell you what, Coach Pennington, having, fighting it out this season. The losses he have, it really, having losses to East Providence and SK, that matter. But the Portsmouth loss, I think it's just the way they lost. That was like a 52-7 game,
Yeah,
but Portsmouth is a good program.
Portsmouth is really really good. Portsmouth is really really good. I went back and watched that Portsmouth West Warwick game, and Portsmouth just took it to them. There weren't many answers. It was pretty impressive on Portsmouth's behalf. They've got playmakers all over the field.
What I seen there was a West Warwick team that they just they gave up. They felt like their bubble was you got to keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting,
Yep.
till the end. You never feel that you're defeated. I love the Wizards. I support the Wizards. I back the Wizards, but I just think that they got to get it out the grind.
Yep. And that happens. I mean, they've had a lot of success the last few years, and that's all that some of these guys know. Um, so to have it handed that way is a reality check sometimes.
Let me tell you, October 17th, they're going to finish off good against Middletown. Middletown having a tough season, I think, and Mount Pleasant, another team. The spooky game for West Warwick is going to be Halloween, Westerly High School.
Yep. Yep. That's going to be a good game, and that game alone, because Westerly's RPI and their opponent's schedule is so high, that'll give West Warwick, especially if they can find a way to win that game, that'll allow them to climb above some of these teams. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see West Warwick get as high as 3, if they win out.
I'll tell you what, only the top 8 get in, so you have Lincoln High School, sitting, with that last spot. And I know one socket, are they going to be able to claw up and be able to do something with Lincoln? And when socket has Pawtucket remaining, Coventry, and Moses Brown, and Lincoln has Coventry, North Providence, and South Kingstown.
Yep. So it's going to be hard for teams to just kind of squeak by. I think if Woonsocket wins out, I think they can climb above Lincoln. But I think they'd need Lincoln to really not do much the rest of the year. I think South Kingstown beats both of those teams. Neither team has like a a big whopping RPI game left. So, it's going to be hard to shake and move from the bottom of the division.
With Westerly trying to hold on to that number 1 seed, East Providence, SK, Pawtucket, West Warwick, Coventry. Another team that someone said don't sleep on Coventry because they're beating who they need to beat right now. Coach Gervasini, I told people, I think Coach Gervasini is going to be a good coach. He comes from a football program, a
Yep.
football town, and he waited to get that position. He brought in kids that he coached when they were younger, and they seem to be doing okay over there with wins against Johnston, Mount Pleasant. Their losses come against St. Ray's. Moses Brown's a tough loss as far, and East Providence.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure they'd love to have that Moses Brown game back, but they still control their destiny. They have to go out and beat Lincoln. They have to go out and beat Middletown, and then if they beat Woonsocket, that's gravy. And if they don't, I think 2 out of 3 wins coming down the stretch probably keeps them in the top 8.
I'll tell you what, Coventry and Lincoln, I think they have similar. What is it? You have Lincoln, Woonsocket, and Middletown. Coventry has left, and Moses Brown has Westerly, East Providence, Woonsocket. I don't think Moses Brown can beat. I mean, you know what?
So Moses Brown they certainly don't have a cupcake left on that schedule, right?
No.
Moses Brown will be lucky to grab a game there. Moses Brown, Woonsocket probably determines the last playoff team when you look at it. So that Moses Brown, Woonsocket game in the last week probably determines who gets the 8th spot.
Yeah, it's getting tight, and it's going to get tight. You see, Division 2, there's only a couple remaining games as well, but let's run along and check out Division 3 right now. Costco with a cupcake schedule all season long. I mean, they got wins against that Mount Hope game was a tight game though. That was like a 1-point game, and then North Providence, Charahoe, East Greenwich. That's easy, 3 in a row. Bang. Remaining, Costco has Pilgrim not playing great football this season. Ponaganset might go undefeated the rest of the season. I don't see Ponaganset losing a game.
Yep. They're going to have their hands full with Classical. Classical Ponaganset still a good game left in that to determine who finishes near the top. And if Johnston wins out, right, let's say Classical finds a way to beat Pono and Johnston wins out and beats Classical late in the season, I can see a scenario where Johnston jumps all the way up to number 1. With all the teams tied at 1 loss. So, that the top of that division is still wide open. In my personal opinion, I think Mount Hope's the best team in the division. So that's who I would have picked at the beginning of the season. And I don't know if I'm coming off of it. Mount Hope's 2 losses, I think, were by 1 point each. So, I like Mount Hope a lot in that division.
Shout out Coach Shane Parker doing a lot of great things over there at Mount Hope. They had a rough ending to the season last year, but they got right back on it this year.
Yep.
Battled with Classical, 1-point game. They lost to Classical and Ponaganset, and remaining is Mount Pleasant, Cranston East, and North Providence, for Mount Hope.
Yeah, I don't think Mount Hope can get all the way up to number 1, but Mount Hope would be the team that none of those top teams want to see in the second round of the playoffs.
No, right. So you got Classical with a 2.9, Ponaganset with a 2.7. And Rogers, Coach B-Ball's rebuilding over there. Pilgrim, Classical might be the only, but who is Classical really? The only team that they played so far, I think, is a Mount Hope.
Yeah. Yep. But they have Ponaganset coming, and they have Johnston coming. So they have to play the 2 and 3 seed the last 2 weeks of the season. So, kind of like us, where we had to face the top 2 teams a couple weeks in a row. Like last week we played Smithfield. This week we played Narragansett. that it just happens to be their time coming up.
And I'll tell you what, Jimmy Cook over there at Cranston East, big win for Jimmy Cook the other night. I just had the damn score. I feel like a fool now. Um, Anyway, yeah, it was a big win for Jimmy Cook. He has Central Falls remaining, Mount Hope, and East Greenwich. Oh, I think was it against Middletown? Possibly.
Yeah, well, that Middletown win is what's separating him in with those RPI points, right? So that Middletown win is keeping him afloat because they're a Division II school and they had a win. So that's a really big win for Cranston East over Middletown. East Greenwich game is going to determine where they fall in the seeds.
Yeah, East Green. Oh, it was 34-0. Cranston East over Middletown. So that was a big win for Jimmy Cook, Cranston East. Give them guys some confidence over there. So Jimmy Cook's gonna be in the playoffs again. How about it?
Yep.
And then Moses Brown and Rogers. Big win for Moses Brown, 41-7. You know, um,
Yeah, this division's shaping out, and it'll
oh,
be it'll be
absolutely.
those top 8.
And then you have like North
Pilgrim
Providence.
might sneak into that 8 spot with something at the end of the season. Does Pilgrim?
Pilgrim has been struggling, and with Classical, Johnston, and Ponaganset remaining, I don't
Yeah, they're
think
in trouble.
Pilgrim can win any of them games. Shout out to Blake, and
They
I
might
think
not
he
be able to.
agrees.
They might not be able to win those games, but those are the top 3 teams in the division. So even if he goes 0 for 3 in those 3 games, he's only .028 behind Rogers. So if Rogers goes 0 for and Pilgrim goes over, the strength of schedule might jump Pilgrim over Rogers.
Yeah, and it's really close. And Pilgrim does have good opponent win percentage, so
Right.
don't
So
forget that can always help you coming down the backstretch.
yep. So that's the game. That's the game that gets played, right? If you look at Pilgrim's schedule, they went out and went Seekonk. Woonsocket's a Division II school. Burrillville's a Division I school. Plus now they've got the top 3 of Division III coming up. So their opponent winning percentage is going to go through the roof here these next couple weeks. They
Oh,
could climb. They
absolutely.
could climb above 1 or 2 of these teams without winning a game.
And you believe it, folks? Like the season is like we're there. We're at the back end. Regular season, like what 2 to 3 games left, depending on what division you're falling in, and everybody's on the bubble. Pilgrim on the outside looking in, and the division that everybody is really looking at. They said they don't care about 1, 2, and 3. They said we want to talk Division 4.
If you believe that, I've got some ice to sell you.
Oh, I don't know, Jeff. A couple of years ago, when Cliff Fulton was at EWG, you had Derek D'Souza and Eddie Insco up at Situate. Division 4 was spicy. Jimmy Cook over there at Ponaganset. Them boys had that division like pretty heated up.
So, I mean, I think that good football gets played down here a lot of nights. So, if you look at the league, I could probably make an argument for those top 7 that I just see on the screen now. I could make an argument that on any given night, something could happen, and all of a sudden, a good game pops out with any of those seven teams.
Well, look how close 3, 4, 5 are. Very close. So they could always switch around. You got Narragansett holding it strong. My opinion, biggest crime in RIL. But
So the difference between Smithfield and Davies right now is that tri-county game that Smithfield played, even though they lost it, they get points there because Tri-County's undefeated in Massachusetts in their division.
Now,
Davies played Central Falls, which is a division up. So the loss that Smithfield had to Tri-County outweighs the loss that Davies had to Central Falls. And that's the difference of .03.
now, big question with Smithfield, with Juanita Sanchez, EWG, and Narragansett remaining. They lost players because of a recent investigation. Losing them players, is that going to hurt them coming down the
Uh,
stretch?
I'm not sure how impactful those players were on their varsity roster. I don't know who they were. I don't know the guys
Okay.
that we prepped for on film were the guys that we saw on Thursday night. So if guys were sitting out Thursday night, I certainly didn't notice it. The only one we noticed was number 2, who unfortunately got hurt at the end of the Hope game. He's one of their guys out there at wide receiver. He hurt his wrist, so he didn't play against us Thursday night.
And Hazen is definitely not a funny, nothing to laugh about. They take that stuff very, very seriously. And I know kids will be kids, and sometimes they don't realize it. I really haven't read too much into the Smithfield thing. I've been so tied up with the Ponaganset,
Yeah,
with
I
the
haven't heard
nightmare
anything.
Ponaganset. So, but they're saying it was, a few kids got suspended. But yeah, you just can't be doing anything like that, and they're not going to take the rap for you. The school is not going to take the rap for you. you know,
No,
um,
and kids are going to do stupid things. You just hope that you do enough as a football program and as a coach and as a culture builder to keep kids from doing that stuff, right?
I mean, not all schools are going to take the rap for you, but no, yeah, exactly. You got to build the culture. And I said the other day, we need to make better kids. Like, we need to do better. We are failing our kids, with everything going on, at the other school. And it's like, come on,
Yep.
we need to do a lot better because, what do they say? We need to leave a better planet for our kids. We need better kids to leave for our planet.
We're getting to that point, aren't we?
Absolutely, but yeah, so North Smithfield sitting pretty good right now with a 1.650 with Narragansett. Big game coming up for North Smithfield, October 18th. And they are home. They're home all the way to Cranston, and then Hope High School, so you have a big game against Narragansett.
Yep, they're next on the schedule, so they've got our undivided attention for the week. Saturday should be good. It's our homecoming weekend, so we're excited. The kids are excited. It's going to be a good football game. I think both soccer teams are playing in the morning and early afternoon, and we've got the last game of the day. We have 3 games on the field that day, so it should be a fun environment in North Smithfield on Saturday.
I'll tell you what, Coach. It's definitely gonna be interesting. These next 2 weeks. I think Tiverton had a game, but they are listed as a non-qualifying team in Division 4, and this is a problem that I think we are gonna see more and more every year. Some teams I think are an injury or two from forfeiting right now.
Well, I think that's the story certainly in Division 4. I mean, as good of a season as we're having, we couldn't we won't survive key injuries either. Um, I have 28 kids on a nightly basis pretty much. So, we're just trying to hang on and stay healthy, and you know, we're probably not as far off from Tiverton as everybody might think.
Yeah, Tiverton was. I'm pulling up the roster actually right now. Tiverton was very, very small.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of 12s on that roster for the grade. So, you know, it they probably made the right decision. You got a lot of ninth and 10th graders. Asking ninth and 10th graders without much support of upperclassmen to play in a varsity game is it's borderline unfair. So, um, the kids are going to get hurt in those situations, and they had to make a decision. I'm sure it was a tough one. We were faced with a very, very similar decision a few years ago. Um, we managed to get through a season, but it wasn't easy. And that's a decision that nobody wants to make.
Absolutely. I actually remember that. Tiverton has a good staff. The kids just seem they're not just coming out to play football,
Yep.
So,
And I said it a few years ago because it was the position we were coaching in Division 3 with the roster we had. And I said to one of my coaches, and I said to our athletic director at the time, I said, guys, we're trying to win football games, but we're trying to survive, right? We're coaching so that every kid gets back on the bus at the end of the game. And that's not a good place to be.
oh no, no, absolutely not, But that's about it, man. Thank you, coach. Got you out of there with nothing controversial. See, it was nice and safe.
I'll take that.
you
I'll
know,
certainly take
uh
that. Anytime I can get on here and not have to worry about being in the spotlight, I'll take.
hold on a minute, hold on. Absolutely, but you know, I never put you under the gun, so we always have nice conversations. But I gotta say, even when you do have to talk about them, you know, them situations that you probably rather not talk about. You handle them, like a man. You stand up and you do what you're supposed to do. So you're a great leader.
Well, I appreciate that. We all have opinions, and you know, sometimes you just got to say it how it is, and your platform's is a good spot for that, and that's kind of what you hang your hat on, and the state needs it. So football around here needs it, and
I want to promote the kids, but I always say I always want to hold everybody accountable for,
yeah,
especially the
somebody's
BS.
gotta. Yep, somebody's gotta.
No one else can talk about it, but appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. Have a good rest of the
All
weekend.
right, man. My man, Coach Jeff Piper over there, North Smithfield, having a good season. Yeah, see, I think it was his phone. It was. It was his phone that was giving me feedback. Darn it. Shout out to Coach Piper. You know, yes, it was a good one. We got through it without any BS. But there was things I want to touch on, man. That Ponaganset thing is heating up. I actually read that, there's so much crazy things that a parent says she went to the coach and said that she heard the two boys talking about intercourse with the gym teacher, and he said, boys will be boys. God damn. That's crazy. But, yeah, we definitely got to talk more about the Ponaganset situation because I think there's a lot more to that than y'all realize. You know what I mean? But don't forget, support my son.
Listen, no one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about.
Yeah, you already know. But appreciate everybody, man. Some good games coming up this week, but some final scores. Cranston West 40 35, SK 34. Coventry, big win over Mount Pleasant, 40-22. Don't sleep on Coventry. Coventry is up there right now. They're in that spot. Johnson and Lincoln, 36-26. Portsmouth put the boots to West Warwick, 52-7. I guess it's not that West Warwick lost, it's how they lost. Come on, guys. Get with it. East Providence over Pawtucket, 40-0. Ponaganset putting 47 up on Hope. I was saying 49 under over, so, at least, Ponaganset football team scoring in the end zone this time over at Hope. Get it? East Greenwich 26-7. Westerly, big game over Central. Mike Washington. Mike, you got to get with it. You're in a tough spot right now. They're in a tough spot right now, 30-14. EWG 16-13 over Tiverton's junior varsity team. Moses Brown 41, Rogers 7. Cranston East, big game against Middletown, 34-0. And Cumberland falling to Salem, 21-7. That was Friday night's game. And Saturday, there was one game, Woonsocket and Burrillville. Coach Ferraro putting 49 up on Woonsocket. Woonsocket with the 34 points. And coming up this Thursday, you got one game, Woonsocket and Pawtucket. Who's going to win that one? Battle, Woonsocket and Pawtucket. It's getting close, though, man. It's getting close. Go back if you're just getting here and check it out. Me and Coach Piva broke down all the RPIs in all the divisions. Appreciate everyone that helps us make this all possible, man. But tomorrow we breaking down that Ponaganset. I just got a couple emails about it, man. Appreciate y'all all.
Ready to dominate the field? Join Beast Coast Football Factory. Led by top coach Najee Barros, we elevate your game at all levels. We offer expert training, unique techniques and drills, affordable rates, $25 per session, $40 for two. Don't miss your chance.
Throughout the football season, every Friday night, we bring you exclusive sideline access and post-game interviews. We go straight to the head coaches, asking tough questions live with no edits. Just real, honest conversations.
We're now seeking sponsorships for our platform. Both businesses and individuals can support us through booster ads, helping to amplify our reach and impact. Your support means the world to us, and together we can continue to provide the coverage our community deserves.
We're reaching out for your help. Any small donations, even as little as the cost of a cup of coffee, can make a huge difference in keeping our platform alive and thriving. Can We Keep It Real podcast is brought to you by Beast Coast Football Factory and HomeSmart Professionals. Please consider joining our team today.
Accountable. And that's where the Can We Keep It Real podcast came in. This was a platform that I dedicated to promoting student athletes. Speaking the truth about the challenges that a lot of these kids face. And we're also not afraid to tackle tough questions, whether it be the pressure of balance in academics and athletes, staying competitive on the field, competitive in the classroom, tackling the lack of resources that are available to these kids.
This is not Clown Town anymore.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell out. Everybody's like, football is a team game. Okay, it's not a team game. Okay, I did my part. All right, I put in a great game plan. I mean, these players, they're horrible. My players are no good. I mean, everybody's like, no excuses. I got 22 excuses. 11 on my offense and 11 on my defense. Our offensive coordinator is terrible. He gets half of his.
Throughout the football season, every Friday night, we bring you exclusive sideline access and post-game interviews. We go straight to the head coaches, asking tough questions live with no edits. Just real, honest conversations.
We're now seeking sponsorships for our platform. Both businesses and individuals can support us through booster ads, helping to amplify our reach and impact. Your support means the world to us, and together we can continue to provide the coverage our community deserves.
We're reaching out for your help. Any small donations, even as little as the cost of a cup of coffee, can make a huge difference in keeping our platform alive and thriving. Can We Keep It Real podcast is brought to you by Beast Coast Football Factory and HomeSmart Professionals. Please consider joining our team today.